Okay, we're starting Shar Nekudim, Perik Aleph. V'nevar inyan olam ha-nekudim. Now we're going to explain the idea of the olam ha-nekudim, which we're going to see is the olam atzilus in the stage of shvir. When it comes out for the first time, it has a shvir, a misa, and a fila, and this tkufa of atzilus is called olam ha-nekudim. Afterwards, the tikkun is going to be called olam atzilus or olam havrudim. So now we're going to explain the idea of olam hanakudim. V'hem bechinos ha'oros hayotzim derech nigvei einayim shel adam kadmon. Now these are the inyan of the oros that come out of the eyes of Adam Kadmon. V'nikvar b'yanu le'el ki yesh daled bechinos. Now above we explained that inside Adam Kadmon there are 4 bechinos. V'hem daled avayas av sag mal ben. And there are the 5 the 5 types of names of Hashem, of filling out the writing of the name of Hashem, which is Av Sag Mal Ben. We explained that Hashem's name is Yud Kei Vav Kei. The name of Yud Kei Vav Kei can be written in a number of ways, and there are 4 major divisions. There are 4 major ways that this Shem is written in. One is the form of Av, Ayin Beis, Riz 72. This form is when the Havai Yud Kei Vav Kei is spelt with every chance, every time that it can, it fills in with a Yud. So the letter Yud is spelt, written out, Yud Vav Daled. The letter K is, the first Hey is spelt Hey Yud, and the Vav is spelt Vav Yud Vav, and the last Hey is spelt Hey Yud. So if you add up all of these osios, all the gematrias of all of these osios, you come to 72. And we said Sag is the same thing as Av, just instead of the Vav being filled with a Yud, as Vav Yud Vav, it's filled with an Aleph, with Vav Aleph Vav. And then Ma is same as Sag, just another addition. It's changed all of the instead of spelling Hey Yud, for both of the Heys, it spells in the Shem of Ma, we spell it Hey Aleph. So it comes out Yud Vav Daled, and then Hey Aleph, and then Vav Aleph Vav, and then Hey Aleph. That is Gematria Mem Hey, which is 45. And then Ben is has a number of differences. Ben is spelt with, instead of Alfin, we tried to put Heys in. So however, where the Vav can't have a Hey, so it doesn't have anything. So it's spelled Yud Vav Daled, and then the Hey spelled, both of the Heys are spelled Hey and then Hey, which also could be pronounced as Hey, could be spoken as Hey. And then the Vav is just written with a Vav and then Vav, and the last Hey is also Hey and then Hey. So all of that together is Gematria Ben, which is 52. So these 4 Shemos of Hashem, these 4 Shemos of Havaya, the 4 different permutations or the 4 different expressions or ways of writing out the Shem of Havaya is in Adam Kadmon, all these 4 Shemos. Each one of these 4 Shemos have in it a division. It could be divided into 4 bechinos. Bechinos of tamim, which are the musical notes we said, nakudos, which are the nakudos inside the vowels. Tagim is like the crowns on top of the osios, where we have like in the Sefer Torah, and osios themselves. So these 4 divisions are divisions of the light of the different divides that we have, the different shemos. Now the mochin of Adam Kadmon is the form of the Shem of Havaya of Av, which we said is called also sometimes Havaya of Yudim. So that's the mochin from inside the head to the oznaim. And from the oznaim and down, tashlusim adam kadmon hazeh hu b'chinas sag. From the oznaim and down to the bottom of this adam kadmon, there's b'chinas sag. Ad sium haraglaim shelo, until the end of his feet, till the bottom of his feet. Omnam inyan hazeh haya batchila kodem misas hamalachim b'olam hakudim. This inyan, where sag was nispashet down to the raglaim, was only before the olam hakudim, before the misas hamalachim in olam hakudim. Aval achar kach haya b'chinas ma'u ben mimakom hataber shelo ad lamata b'sium raglaim. Afterwards, there's only this ma'u ben, these new ors of ma'u ben, which came underneath the tabor down to the feet. As we will explain. Now we already explained that in sag there is also tamim nekudos tagim and osios. And the tamim was divided into three divisions: the upper tamim, the middle tamim, the tamim in the middle of the osios, and the tamim underneath the osios. And those came out of the ozen chotem peh. The ozen, out of the ozen came out the tam elyonim. Out of the chotem came out the tamim tzayim, and out of the peh came out the tamim tachtonim. V'omnam hanekudas hem b'chinas os hanimshachim min ha'einayim shelo. Now these nekudas are the nekudas of sag, which we're talking about now, are the ors that we didn't speak about yet, but now we're introducing them coming out of the eyes. V'inyanhu. This is also the ors that come out of the eyes are called nekudas, and they're also called olam hanakudim. Ve'inyanhu ki ne'ahevel ha'yotzem min nikvei oznaim hu hevel. The hevel, the certain type of air or breath or wind comes out of the ears is very, very little. If a person puts his finger on his ear and he pushes it very hard, he'll hear a certain sound, and this sound is a certain air that's pushing up inside of it. This is because there's air that's pushing inside of it. That's trying to come out of the person's ear when he closes it up, and it can't. That's the sound, the Rav here is saying, it's the sound that a person hears when he pushes his finger, or he closes up his ear. When a person takes away his finger, he doesn't feel this sound anymore. Now, it was this bechina of hevel, this type of air that we were speaking about, which is the ors of the oznaim, which is very, very little. We're going to explain that the chotem and the peh have more noticeable type of breath that comes out of it. The breath that comes out of a nose is much stronger than that comes out of the ear, and that comes out of the mouth is even stronger. So, stam, like for people that are wondering, it's scientifically or medically, there is a connection. There are tubes that are connected between the person's nose and the person's ears, and there is some type of air that's passing through there. So, again, I haven't heard of air. Of the sound that a person hears being this air, but the Rav said this, so I believe it. But I'm saying even according to modern day medicine, there is a connection between the ears, nose, and mouth. The ears and the nose, the nose and the mouth to the ear inside the air itself is connected. If a person blows on it, I think when you hold your nose and you blow, so then you could hear like a certain sound in your ears, popping in your ears, because there's an actual connection between the tubes, I think, of your ears and the tubes of your nose. So that's where the air is coming from. I'm not sure. And now afterwards in the chotem there's even more a noticeable type of air or breath or hevel. And from that comes out the 10 spheres of the chotem. Kanal. And afterwards in the peh there's an even more noticeable hevel, more noticeable than all of them. And לפי שכל מה שהאור יורד למטה הוא ניכר ונרגש יוסר ונסגל לשם. Now the reason for this is because the lower something goes from the ears to the nose to the mouth, which is lower inside Adam Kadma, the more noticeable, the more like tangible, so to speak. Obviously we're not talking about anything kashmis b'chlal, but the more it's revealed, these ors that they come lower, and the ors that are higher are more dak and they're more hidden. From there, from the peh comes out 10 ors of nakuda. Now these three places are the bechina. These three places of ozen chot and peh are a bechina of tam shel sag. Afterwards, from the eyes come the nekudas of sag. So we said that the ozen chot and peh again is the tamim of sag. Now it's coming out of the eyes the nekudas of sag, which is the next level, which we're going to speak about. Now, since it's the way the rabbi is explaining it, since it's a lower bechina, so therefore there's a lower type of hevel that's nirgash. There's less wind or effect of the eyes. The effect of the mouth is very strong. The effect of the nose is weaker. The effect of the ears, what actually comes out of the ears, is even weaker, and the effect of the eyes is even weaker. It's not less nicker, less noticeable. Actually, it could be not weaker at all, just less noticeable. Out of the ears, we're going to see that what comes out of the eyes is probably a little bit more noticeable, more effective, more strong effect coming out of the eyes than out of the ears, like Ein Hara and things like that. He's not exactly speaking about Ein Hara necessarily, but we do know we're going to see an example soon about a physical representation of the effects of looking at something. Whereas the ears, we don't even see such a physical representation. So, but still, the actual thing itself is of the ears is less nicker. It's less obvious that there's something happening in the ears, and even less obvious by the eyes that something is happening. There's no there's no comparison between the or of the nakudos, which is very weak and very small, to the tamim, which is the nakudos, which comes out of the eyes, to the tamim, which came out of the ozen chot and peh. So since these ors are much weaker coming out of the eyes, they have a much lesser noticeability inside them. Aval im much lesser power, much weaker. Still there is some type of power in looking with the eyes. As we see in nature.